So if you're unfamiliar with Hacker, what it is, it's basically an add-on for Blender that makes creating add-ons for Blender much easier. So if you want to learn more about that, you can head over to blendersensei.com/hacker, and you can check out the full playlist of Hacker videos, which will give you the rundown on all the cool features and things it can help you do, as well as the Hacker manual, which can tell you even more about what's going on. Be sure to head over to resources, software update logs, then just click on Hacker update log, and you can read about all the awesome new enhancements, features, and bug fixes in this latest version of Hacker, which is version 1.2. Okay, so let's head back over to Blender. Alright, so the first thing we have to talk about is there has been a menu refresh. So if I right click, you'll see that the layout of the menu is a little bit different than it was from the previous videos. New to this menu is Clear Console and Toggle Console. So previously these options were available down here. You could press this button to toggle the Pi console. And of course, this makes use of Hacker's awesome feature to always keep this console on top, so no matter what we click, or if we start typing, this still stays up here. And of course, this is very useful if you don't have two screens available, so you're not able to shove this off somewhere else. Let's say you're on a laptop or just are only using one monitor. I got tired of having to come down here and click this tiny button. So it's much easier to access here right in the right click menu. You can just press toggle console anytime you want that available. I'll quickly mention that of course you can also change the settings for the way that this Pi console displays in Hacker. If you come to the preferences menu and then come down to external apps, which this is made possible thanks to an auto hotkey. But if we wanted to, we can of course change this to a transparent window, which is pretty sweet, but that's just showing off a little bit. Let me turn that back to how it was. Okay, and then the other option we added was Clear Console. Likewise, we can clear down here, which this clear is kind of like a multi-tool clear, like it clears the Pi console, but it will also clear whatever we have written down here in the console editor window here. So a lot of times you'll be testing a script or some code in the text editor, and this Pi console will be full of all kinds of junk, especially if you're deep in it. So it's really nice to be able to, well, let's put something back on there, print, hello. And then run script. It's really nice to be able to quickly clear that out just from right clicking. So next we have this more tools menu. This is new to version 1.2. We now nest the preferences menu under this more tools. And then we have the icon search, which pops up here, which is just Hacker's very simple, bare bones little icon search menu here. But then under that, we have a completely new feature called Load Last Crash. So whether you're someone who spends a little or a lot of time developing add-ons for Blender, or you're just a regular Blender user, you're going to eventually face accidental crashes. Blender actually is programmed to spit out a crash report right as this happens, which is pretty nice, but it can be kind of annoying trying to locate these files. So we've now added a button here. So if you right click and under more tools, that will load the most recent crash report. So what this does is it accesses Blender's temp file paths. So if I go to edit, preferences, and file paths here, you can see this temporary file location here. And so this is where Blender will shoot out crash reports. It looks for the crash files there. It also actually digs into the OS information about the date of that file and then loads the most recent crash. So this will always load the most recent crash that just happened. So this can be really useful while you're developing scripts, but also just in general, like say you're trying to render something and Blender keeps crashing, you're like, what the hell? This may give you some insight into the process as it's happening. A lot of this information is probably pretty useless unless you have experience in building your own versions of Blender and dealing with the internal C code. However, at the bottom of these crash reports is very useful information, because this shows you the exact things that ran when Blender crashed. And as you can see here, there was an issue in line 229 of template utils.py, whatever new crazy thing I was doing or whatever. And so, yeah, otherwise, it can be really difficult to figure out just what the heck happened when Blender crashed. So this is an awesome new feature in version 1.2. All right, that's going to about do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.